Welcome to Expressions, and this is your number one youth current affairs show. Mawibuza uthi siguphi, wonder no more, because wherever the youth voice is, the expressions is ofiga. Namhlanje, we are bringing you the story of 4 young boys who fell victim to a vigilant attack. Namhlanje siyabuza ke si expressions, is it right for people to take the law into their own hands? Now, these young boys walked up this stretch of the road for about 5 to 7 kilometers to go and look for cattle. The story didn't end so well. As Expressions, we bring you their story today, and what do you have to say about the conversations we're having on the show today? Do participate in Gundlen Zethu Zokuxhumana. Here's their story. So as promised, our first stop takes us to Gabo Ayabonga Gasa, who's a 15-year-old, one of the victims that we said we were going to be speaking to on today's episode. Ayabonga, I will share ukuthi kwenzekani nge-22 August.
Yes. Lesiyobheka inkomo, wavuka inyamazana, izinja zahopha inyamazana. Bazihopha zayibamba inyamazana. Sasathatha inyamazana sayihlukanisela sayisiya ngamanje. Mase sibuya kwaqhamuka amalukhunjana, ama-security. Afika shaya. Abangabuza lutho, afika shaya. Asasibuza ukuthi sithunywe uba. Sasari kanjena besibheka inkomo. Asasiyeka asiqhuba ngelukhunjana, ishaya. Isiqhuba ngemvubu, esishaya ngemvubu. Ngingasakwazi ukuhamba, abafana labo sisihamba nabo bangiqukula bengiphethe. Sazofika la. Badubula izinja zethu eziwu-4.
Awusitshele ngokuthi abantu laba abanishaya abantu abanjani, mhlawumbe usinike i-description yabo.
Abantu abamnyama abawu-3 nabanye abawu-4 amabhunu. Bafike belukhunjana bashaya basibuza ukuthi sithunywe uba, sathi kanje sibheke inkomo thina. Baqhubeka bashaya. Mina sengilile phansi, kwathiwa lo usayayifisa. Baqhubeka bangishaya. Waze wasilamulela lo munye umalume. Wathi abayeka abafana.
Akusibonise imvimbi leyo nayo.
La. Konke la. Nala.
Ayabonga bebanishaya ngani?
Ngemvubu. Ngemvubu nangemphini yepiki. Lokho umphini kwepiki. La. Ngapha eqolo. Umzimba weqolo. Phulile ngokumzimba wonke.
Ukwenza izinjani lento eyenzeka?
Ingibuhlungu impela kakhulu. Ngoba nazo izinja lezi besithanda impela kakhulu. Zabayidubuli. Zo-4.
Siphazamisile nasesikoleni?
Bona khona impela. Ngoba bashaya kabuhlungu, beshayana ngemphiki emabhiki. Basikhombe ngebhamu. Singakwazi ukwenza lutho.
Into ongafisa ukuyibona yenzeka manje yini?
Ukuthi beyikhokhe izinja zethu. Khona ukuthi beyikhokhe zona sayifuna impela. Ngoba besingekho kunjalo endaweni yabo. Bafike bashaya nje, singekho endaweni yabo.
Nina kanti beniguphi?
Besisentabeni. Sibhekile kunjani lo inkomo. Ngoba inkomo asiyitholanga, baze bayithola abadala, baze bayithola ekuseni.
Ngesinalithola usizo kodwa emaphoyiseni?
Yebo salithola lo. Wakhona umunye kodwa oyiphoyisa wayelukhunjana. Wayelo engafuni ukusiza impela. Esidelele ethi silayekile mina babo phathini. Basinikile impela kakhulu. Ngoba nabo abantu labo sibathulile.
Manje kuzokuthi sekubanjwe abasolwa ababili uzizwa njani ngalokho?
Ayisengingcono impela ngoba bazokhipha nabodwa. Ngoba sebebanjile.
Wena usabakhumbula?
Yebo ngisabakhumbula. Ngifisa ukuthi behambe beyele kunjani ejele. Bekhokhe futhi. Ngoba silimile kabuhlungu kanje.
Nangiphaphama sekuyintathakusa ngo-5 ngivuke ngize la enganeni uyabonga ugcine engafikile athuneli ufikile ufike ngobani ngo-10 hawu ayithuvelaphi bethwe mawufike udaka yonke le ndawo egcwele udaka konke la emvimbi lapha imvimbi yehlile konke la wehlile kwathi mangimkhumulisa umntwana ngapha emhlane ubelethe imvimbi khona nje yangena la ocabangweni ngabona ngathi cishe yampress impela ke le ngahamba ngaye esibhedlela ngavele ngathi ngimsesibhedlela manje kwathiwa ePD angimse ekhejwali bafike bathi gogo uvula icala ngathi dokotela wena obonayo unjani mntanami wathi yena ulimele ngathi manje ngenze njani ngiyesaba ukuvula icala uthi amabhunu azobuya angidubule nezingane zami mhlawumbe udokotela uyangikhohlisa azongibhubhisa amabhunu ngiphinde ngakho emgwaqeni kanti siyasiwabona ihamba lapha wona la gqoke lezinku ngithule ngithi ngingaphandle ngiyibona ingane yomntanami iyophi igazi ngithi ayikulungile Nkosi ngibhekisa kuwe nabe ngibulele nezingane zami ulungile kube kuyintando yakho
manje gogo ngoba sibavelile abasolwa izolo phambi manje kuyakujabulisa lokho
ngiyathokoza mntanami ukuthi nabo phela bakuzwe ukujeza abakwenzile ezinganeni engifisa ukubona kwenzeka kubuthi bajeze mangabe kuukuthi ngoba phela bayaboshwa abantu baboshwa umbona umuntu esechanasa phandle ngithi manje yini engcono ukuthi ongenani babhadalwe igazi labo.
So not too far from where we've just been, literally next door, we're touching base now with our second victim, Sia. Awusitsheleke Sia maledeni velale.
Sathi mase sesibuya sasobheka inkomo vele. Sesiyabuya manje inkomo asiyitholi. Sabuya sahlangana nabelungu besicuthele ngeibhanga. Basidubulela izinja zethu. Lathi mase besibamba bashaya mina ngishaya ngempini wepiki la engalweni. Sabuya la kwakumnyama impela nje lapho ngabo-10 sibuye belokhu besishaya. Besitedela bathi besitedela besijaha ngeimvubu besishaya.
Okay, bathi bebanishayelana.
Lamba becathi sibamba inyamazane yabo esiqibini. Ngoba phela lezi inyamazane ijwayele ukuyeba ngale esiqibini zize lapho. Base ziyahamba lokhu ziyidlalela la ngaphandle. Mhlawumbe babeshayela ukuthi babecathi sisesiqibini sabo.
Wawuthukile konke lokhu makwenzeka ne?
Ngangithukile. Uthi ngiyase ngimangele ukuthi sishawelana. Ngoba bashaya into esingayazi empela.
Nanishaya abantu abanjani usabakhumbula?
Ngiyabakhumbula. Abantu abamnyama abawu3 basukuba nabelungu abawu4.
Manje into efisa ukuyibona yenzeka kuyo yonke lento yini?
Ngifisa ukubona nje beboshiwe.
Ekseni mangithi lutho nje ilokhu njani ingalo yakho uyambona nje ukuthi ke akafuni ukuyilula ilokhethe. Siyokusimbuza ulimeleni angilimele. Ulimeleni angilimele elokho efihla. Kwaze kwafika ugogwa kamakhelwaneke. Washo ukuthi ke bashayiwe. Kuthiwa ke bashaywe amabhunu nama security ebafica ngakodubi. Balokhu njana ke walokhu nje ubabwengane le enyu ayabonga. Wayesekhona ukuyobiza amaphoyisa akhe.
So ikwenza uzizwe njani yonke lento mamncane eseyenzakele kwaze kwafika manje?
Cha kungiphathe kabi angifuna uqamba manje kungiphathe kabi einganeni ezincane kangaka zishayo kabuhlungu kanjena. Cha kungiphathe kabi. Noma kuthiwa nje bezonileke bekumele nje ukuthi beyilethe kubazali noma bezise emaphoyiseni okungcono. Hayi ukuthi ke beze beyishaye beyilimaze kanjena izingane.
So there you have it. The big question that we asking you namhlanje, is it right for people to take the law into their own hands? Do participate in Nkundleni Zethu Zokuxhumana as we continue to have this conversation. We're speaking with more victims when we come back after the break. This is Expressions. Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions. Now we continue with the burning topic of vigilantism as we ask the big question on the show namhlanje ukuthi, is it right for people to take the law into their own hands? If you've been tracking the story that we've brought to you right at the top of the show, we are now visiting one of the family's victims as we also touch base with them to find out what they want to see happening. What do you have to say about the conversations we're having? Do participate in Kundlin Zethu Zokuxhumana. Let's go. Angitshele mfana ukuthi kwenzakalani nezinye ubheka inkomo.
Sasihamba manje siyobheka inkomo. Sihamba nabo Maye kuvuka inyamazana, ngithema kuvuka inyamazana izinja zibambe. Bese sihlinza ngamatshe. Sema sihlinza ngamatshe sesiza nayo. Sihlangane nalabantu laba amabhunu edubula izinja bese yasibamba nathi asishaya athi isikepha abadala
Izinja ziyezafa
zafa ezo4 bayidubula
babese banishaya kanjani akusichazela
babephethe insilana abanye bephethe imphini yebhiki beshaya bethi kuyoze kusa mabe singabakhipha abadala
manje nathatha isikhathi ukuthi niyovula icala ngobani
mina ngibona ngathi mhlawumbe mawa esaba ngoba ngalivula ngikwazi ukwasho ugogo ka wathi asihamba
ma besaba
angimazi besaba sagcina sihambe namaphoyisa siwakhombisa bona abantu ababeshaya babathathayo sathola ababili baboshwa bona
Lesehlakalo sikuphazamise kanjani esikolweni naseyifundweni zakho?
Khona ke kwabanzima impela ngoba bengishaya nasekhanda.
Into ongafisa ukuyibona yenzeka yini?
Ukulabantu ababoshwa.
Okay ma, siyabuza kohlelweni namhlanje ukuthi ucabangani ngokuthi abantu bazithathele umthetho bazibekele bona ezandleni zawo njengoba sike singabona njengalaba solo laba abavele nje bashaya abafana.
Kube wrong ukuthi beshaye ingane bayishaya ngokungesikona umthetho ukuthi beshaye ingane kwakufanele ingane beyidedele kodwa mangabe ngoba sebezamile ukuthi beboshwe sizokhona ukuthi simele ingane ngemuva thile kuze kuphele icala lazo.
Bese ke into efisa ukuyibona yenzeka ke ngalelo licala yini?
Kuleli icala njengoba basilimazela ingane isinxephezelo seingane ngoba phela ingane babe ngathi nje ingane zaziyofuna inkomo kwasukela bona basebeyishaya funeke bekhiphe isinxephezelo seingane njengoba ingane sasiyithoba zophe amagazi zinjena isinxephezelo siyafuneka.
Ngiqaphile kunjani mfana?
Ngiyaphila.
Awungitshela ukuthi wena ulimala lephi?
Ngalimala eqolo nasesandleni. La esandleni savuvukala. Iqolo ladabukile. Bese lapha phezulu lapha entabeni lapha izinja zazabona inyamazane zayihupha zayibamba. Sase siya ngamatshe. Sase sesibuya sadibana nabo basibamba bashaya.
Manje indawo enijwayele ukudlala kuyo le?
Inkomo ejwayele ukudla khona phezulu lapha.
Angitshele ukuthi mhlambe yonke lento iyenzakala ikwenza ukuthi uzizwe njani?
Ngazizwa buhlungu ngoba sasuka la ngokuyobheka inkomo sadibana nabo labantu bashaya. Bashela into engekho ukuthi sasingekho ngaphakathi esiqinisako.
Manje lesehlakalo sikuthikamezile ezimfundweni zakhe esikoleni?
Ngeke ngathi ukume ngangaya esikoleni. Ngathi sengibuyela bangibuza ukuthi bede ngiloveleni ngamchazela ukuthi kade ngiloviso ukuthi ngashaya amabhunu. Wasethi okay mhlawumbe uhlala phansi ngabhala umsebenzi lo bade ngawubhalile kathi ngingekho esikoleni.
Kube njani ukuthi uqale futhi ngeimfundo zakho? Kube lula noma ngabe kube nzima ukuthi uqhubekele?
Kuke kwabanzima khona babo khona bade ngingakwazi kahle.
Asikhulume ngokuthi yini into ofuna ukuyibona yenzeka la njoba sizwile ukuthi abasolo babili babanje.
Ngathi ngifuna ukubona ukuthi mele bekhokhiswe nje bona. Ngoba bashaya kabuhlungu impela. Asalimali bashaya impela umuntu wazi ucishe nokuphuka. Salimali impela kakhulu.
Gogo Ake sikhulume mhlambe ngendaba evelele ingane ikwenza uzizwe njani?
Kwangiphatha kabi ngoba abantwana baphuza ukubuya kanti kuthiwa sebeshayiwe amabhomu lawo. Ngingakazi ukuthi kwenzakale ini.
Mase nililandela konke icala leli nibona mhlambe ukuthi lizophela ngendlela enithandayo o ngendlela ezonanelisa.
Angazi baba noma kuzoba njalo yini. Ngoba mina vele angikhonada ngikhona kahle kumphelezela ngoba bafika bezocethe abayi laphana bahamba ngasho ngathi lena uzohamba yedwa la ekhaya ngoba ngizokwazi ukukhona ukuhamba.
Kodwa sonke lesehlakalo sakwenza uzizwe njani?
Sangenza ngabuhlungu baba. Umntwana ngoba mncane iguzu njengomntwana. Nawe umntwana wakho mamshaya amcobi ngeke. Uyamshaya nje imiganga noma ukuthi ugange umntwana. Naye mayishaya umntwana ngeguzu kuzokwenzakalani la ngaphakathi.
Okay gogo, ungathanda ukubona kwenzakalani kuyo yonke le ndaba?
Singathanda ukuthi sibabone babanxesezela abantwana. Ngendlela babalimaza abaphathise ekolweni sebelibele lezinda.
So there you have it. We've touched base with all the families of the victims. Coming up after the break, we're going to be speaking to authorities to find out what has been happening with the case thus far and why the many delays. As Expressions, we're still on the quest to get more answers as we ask you the big question, is it right for people to take the law into their own hands? Siyabonga. Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions. Now, at the top of the show, we brought you the story of the boys that were assaulted, and we are in the quest now to get answers from the South African Police Service. That's why this stop takes us to the South African Police Service's headquarters in Dundee, where we're catching up with police spokesperson in KZN, Jane Naika. It's great to have you on the show.
Good morning. Good morning.
So let's talk about the case. What are the merits and what do we know about the case so far?
Okay, we became aware of this matter on the 23rd when one of the boys arrived at this police station to report that he had been assaulted the day before. So what he initially told us and what's contained in his statement in the docket is that he was out in the veld looking for his grandmother's missing cattle. And when he came across a group of unknown men, he alleges that he was assaulted without them saying anything. And yeah, he initially told us that he didn't know who they were. And then subsequently, during a few days later, it came to our attention that he was not alone. So we went back and we questioned him with regards to the fact that, information has come to light that he was with other boys. And then he's cooperated with police officers. We managed to locate the 3 other boys, all youngsters. And so then the story changed a little bit with the boys. We were told that the other boys were told by their parents not to report the matter to police for whatever reason. But we approached the parents and they then spoke to the boys who cooperated with us. We've subsequently now received statements from all 4 boys. From our investigation, we started to go back. They took us to where the scene is. We managed to locate the scene, and that's where we found the bodies of 4 dogs that were shot and killed. And we found some cartridges on the scene. Further investigation, detectives found that there were some guards that were camping out in the veld in that area, on a farm in that area. And when they managed to locate the camp, they found 2 individuals in the camp. We also found some of the clothing of the boys in the camp, and as well as the carcass of the buck that was killed. The 2 suspects, aged 20 and 36, were arrested by police officers on Friday, the 27th. They were charged for robbery, for assault GBH, as well as for malicious damage to property. They appeared in court yesterday, where they were granted 3,000 Rand bail by the court, and they will be reappearing in court on the 30th of September. Our investigations are still ongoing, and we're quite convinced from the story that the boys have given us that there was more than these 2 individuals involved, so we're expecting to make more arrests in this matter.
Jay, now what's concerning is the timeline of events, or rather the time that it took the police to actually react to this. Did you guys react only when you found out that, SABC News was on the trail of the story?
No, absolutely not. The thing is, the boys lied to us, and we don't know why they lied. And as I indicated, the parents of the other boys also asked them not to open a case. And what they were hiding, we don't know. And obviously, those are the things that impact on our investigations. So, fortunately, if your guys didn't bring us to our attention, we wouldn't have known that there was 4 boys involved, and more information then came to light. So we are concerned, and we're always appealing to the community to be truthful, irrespective, because 2 wrongs don't make a right. So even if the boys had done something wrong, there was nobody had a right to assault these boys and do what they did. So those are the things that affect our investigations. But we're glad that the information eventually came to light, and with the new information, we were able to track down these 2 individuals. And like I said, we're quite convinced with this 2 latest arrests and the course of the investigation that more arrests should be expected.
So now, some of the crime stats came out last week, and we heard that KZN is one of the hotspots of where crime has been happening. What are the SABC plans to ensure that you instill confidence with the community to say you guys will be working hand in hand with the communities?
Absolutely, we've always encouraged that, and that is why we were so disappointed in this matter, because the fact that the parents of the boys, encouraged them to keep this information away from the police, it means that these type of crimes go unreported. And we know, even with our murders, one of the main contributors to our murders is vigilantism, where communities would catch someone stealing, for example, who's just simply stealing cell phones and other things to feed his drug habit, and then he's killed. So, I mean, we're fortunate in this matter that, the boys were only assaulted. I'm told 2 of them had serious injuries, the other had very little minor injuries, so they weren't even visible. But we're fortunate, as I said, these boys weren't, because when it comes to mob justice, in a lot of cases, people's communities take this lightly.
So now, of course, on the show today, we're putting the spotlight on vigilantism, which you've also just mentioned right now. Is it right for communities to take the law into their own hands?
Well, absolutely not. And I think these 2 guys that are now were arrested and put behind bars and are now on the other side, now they are suspects in this matter, and then they eventually going to get convicted, and they're going to get a criminal conviction. In this case, they should have done, as they were security guards, when they caught these boys, they should have immediately contacted police, irrespective that they were minors. They could have been arrested and charged and released into their parents, and the police would have, investigated this case. They wouldn't have been in trouble. So the fact that they decided to meet their own form of justice, they are finding themselves on the wrong side of the law.
Now, attempts to solicit comment from the NPA proved unsuccessful, as they sent us an email declining an interview request, telling Expressions that the matter is sub judice and they will not be further commenting on the matter. What do you have to say about the conversation we're having on vigilantism today? Do participate in Nkundleni Zethu Zokuxhumana. So there you have it. We've brought you all angles to the story and the conversations that we were having on vigilantism on the show today. We've brought you the victims. We've even brought you their parents, as well as officials who are well involved in this case. As we asked you the big question today, is it right for people to take the law into their own hands? We thank you for all your participation in Nkundleni Zethu Zokuxhumana. From all of us here at Expressions, coming to you from Endumeni in Dundee. Thank you for watching. Nsale kahle.